Pet peeves. What drives you absolutely crazy as a senior? You know, those pesky little pet peeves? Well, I have a list. I'm going to go over some of them. But don't worry, this isn't just a grumpy old lady rant. We're just poking fun of those little things that drive us absolutely nuts. Stay tuned. Hi, and welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. Well, I'm talking about pet peeves today, things that really get on my nerves as a senior. And I'm sure you have a list of your own, which I hope you will share. Now, I'm not just talking about, little pet peeves. I have a ton of those, as I'm sure you do too. People just talking on their phones all the time or looking at their phones and not paying attention to anything else, and people thinking they own the road, and those kind of things. But I'm going to get into some serious ones. I'm going to do them by categories. The first category is healthcare hassles. Oh, I take my brother in law to quite a few doctors, different specialists, due to the different health conditions he has. And I always do all the paperwork and fill everything out for him. Oh my gosh, why are there 10 or 15 pages of paperwork that you have to fill out? Everything's computerized now. So why do we have to do all the work filling all this paperwork out? And it's so redundant. They ask the same questions over and over. And on every page, you have to put the name, the date of birth, the social security. If it's on the front page, why isn't that good enough? But no, it isn't. They want you to repeat it on every single page. That drives me just bonkers. That's all I can say is bonkers. And then if you have a follow up appointment 3 or 4 weeks later, you got to fill out the same darn forms all over again. What do they think? Your name changed in a month? Or your date of birth has suddenly changed? If you had your appendix out in 1973, then a month after you put that on the paperwork, it's still 1973 when your appendix came out. Ugh, they waste people's time. And the funny part is they all have these portals now where they claim they have all your information in there. You can see everything. Well, can't they see it? Why do they make you keep writing it down on the same doggone forms every time you go in? Oh, big, big, big pet peeve for me. And one other just absolutely stupid thing is your date of birth. You put it on every piece of paper. It's well known what your date of birth is. And then you turn the paperwork in at the front desk. They look at it and then they say, "Can you confirm your date of birth?" Oh my gosh, lady, can't you read? It's on the paper 10 to 15 times. My second category is technology troubles. Oh my gosh, I do have technology troubles. But the way things are set up is such a big pet peeve with me. You have to have a password for just about everything now. How in the world are you supposed to remember all those passwords? They want one capital letter, then a bunch of other letters. They want one number. They want a symbol. Heck, they want your firstborn child. I mean, they want everything. And then they expect you to remember them. You can't remember those passwords. And even if you write them down, I mean, you need a whole composition notebook to write down all the passwords you have for everybody that requires one. I mean, it is so ridiculous. And then you try to make up a new one because you can't remember the old one. And they say, oh, you can't use that one, try again. And you try something else, oh, that one's taken. It is so frustrating. I hate all those passwords. And think about this when it comes to seniors. They want you to sign into your portals with all the healthcare systems that I just talked about, and you have to remember your passwords. All the systems are different, all the passwords have different requirements. You're a senior citizen, for goodness sake. Now, maybe if you're 65, 70, and even older, it's not a problem for you to use a computer. But there are a lot of seniors that are in their upper 80s or early 90s, and they're just not as sharp as they used to be. They can't work a computer. They can't do all that newfangled stuff. So technology problems are a big pet peeve for me. My next category is just everyday annoyances. My goodness, I could probably list 50, but one of the biggest pet peeves I have with this is packaging. Have you tried to open a package of batteries? My goodness, you need a chainsaw just to get them open. Scissors won't cut through the plastic and the cardboard and everything they have. Nothing does. I mean, you work for an hour just to get one battery out of the package. Now, why do they do that? Is it necessary? Does it have to be that difficult? I mean, I realize they have to package things up, but can't they have like a tab you could pull that would, unlock everything and open it up? Heck no. They make you pay for it. They make you pay the high price they charge, and then you have to work and fight and sweat to get the darn thing open. Ugh. And how about instructions? With just about everything you buy, there's instructions on it, or the name of the product, or the color of the product. The print is so tiny, you can't even see it with a magnifying glass. Don't they understand that? I mean, seniors have the buying power. We can go out and purchase things because we're not raising family and putting food on the table for 5 or 8 people, but we can't see anything. They make the print the teeniest time, like they wrote it with a little grain of rice. And then it might be silver writing on white background. You can't see that. It's impossible. I mean, don't they consider these things when they're doing their marketing and stuff like that? I mean, don't they even think about seniors and the struggles we have? That is such a pet peeve for me. Another one in the category of everyday annoyances are the people that think they own the aisles of the stores, whether you're in a grocery store or Walmart or say Ross or Marshall, something like that. People are so inconsiderate. They're going down the aisle and they decide they want to look at something, which is fine. But if you're looking at something on the right, can't you park your buggy on the right where you're looking? Why do they leave it right in the middle of the aisle? You can't get up the aisle or down the aisle. And they are totally annoyed if you're even trying to. Like they own the whole doggone aisle. People are just inconsiderate and rude and self-centered. And another thing in the store, if they want to look at something like, say, in this rack here on the right, and that's where you are, and that's where your buggy is parked, if they are in a hurry and they just want to pick out one shirt to look at, I mean, why can't they say, "Excuse me, can I just get this shirt here?" or whatever? No, they don't say anything. They just reach across right in front of your face like this, and they're sorting through, right where you're looking. Don't they have the sense and the common decency to say, "Excuse me, can I grab that shirt right there?" Nope, they don't do it. Another pet peeve in this category is when I see someone struggling to get in and out of the door of any store, a drugstore or whatever. If they can't open the door, maybe it's not an automatic door. Say you're entering a doctor's office or a dental office or whatever. Why, if someone who is younger and healthier and their arms are free, they're not carrying packages like the other person, why won't they just open the doggone door for the person? I mean, how rude. Are they in that big of a hurry that they can't take a few seconds to say, "Let me get the door for you," or something? They totally ignore it. They just brush right by them. And if you're walking, say, at a shopping center, an outdoor shopping center or something, and you're walking slow, people just assume it's because you're old and you can't walk any faster. Well, no, that is not always the case. Maybe you're just enjoying the day. Maybe you're stopping to smell the roses, but they have to rush past you like they're annoyed at you because you're slowing them down. Mm, I'll tell you, these young people can really pluck my nerves. As you can tell, I have many more things about these everyday annoyances, but you experience them in your everyday life. In our community, we have crosswalks and a lot of sidewalks and trails that people like to take their walks on. But of course, there's always cars in every community too. So I could be walking down the sidewalk by myself in the middle of the afternoon, and here comes maybe a group of people, say 2 or 3 people, walking together. Will they move? Will they separate for a minute to let me go by? Huh, heck no. They they just expect me to get off the sidewalk so that they don't have to separate for a moment. Now, has that ever happened to you and doesn't it just pluck your last nerve? And like I said about the crosswalks, I'm standing at the end of the sidewalk. No cars are, traveling right there. There's stop signs on all 4 corners so people can come in and out and do what they want. I start through the crosswalk, get halfway through, and by darn, this person does not want to be late to the gym. Oh no, they have to get there at the exact time they want to. So they leave the stop sign, floor it, and cut right in front of me. Just drive right in front of me, almost run over my feet. That is an annoyance that I can't even measure. And boy, I get mad. I yell at them. I chase their car. Now, I really get upset about that because fortunately, I can kind of run or step to the side or whatever. Some people don't have that mobility. They're not quick on their feet. They could get run over and end up somebody's hood ornament. But these people don't care. Ugh, drives me nuts. Social and generational gripes. Why do young people have to talk so doggone fast? You can't even understand what they're saying. I mean, it's like they're auditioning to become an auctioneer. I don't understand that, and it really gets on my nerves. Another thing with the younger people, they feel just because you're older that you don't know anything. You're clueless. Oh my gosh, if they only knew who was clueless. We have lived for so many years and have been through so many experiences. They can't hold a candle to us, but they just want to think, oh, they're old. They don't know anything, or they don't get it. They don't understand. It's just a big pet peeve with me that they make that assumption and don't give us any credit for how smart we are. And my last category, category 5, is laughing at ourselves because sometimes we become the pet peeve. Have you ever noticed yourself complaining about the music of today, how loud it is, or how lousy it is? It just doesn't compare with the music that we grew up with. Well, then we're kind of a pet peeve to ourselves because we realize, oh my gosh, I've just become my parent, complaining about today's music. So, yes, we've got our little pet peeves. Well, we can either laugh about them or let them make us cranky. Why would we want to let them make us cranky? Laughter to me is the fountain of youth. So it's fun to laugh about them and talk about them. But do they really throw our whole life out of whack? No. Does it do any good to complain about them? No, because people are people and they're just going to do what they do. And we all just have to live with it. But it is fun to think about them and bring them up and just share the things that drive us crazy. Like I said, we can't change other people's behavior. Laughter is the best medicine. So that's what we're going to have to do about it. Have you ever sat down with a girlfriend or someone and one person brings one thing up and it's obviously a big pet peeve in their life? And then you've experienced the same thing and you say, oh my gosh, yes, I've seen that. That happens when I go to a store or whatever. And then you sit and go back and forth and talk about how rude it is and complain and gripe. And before you know it, you're both sitting back just cracking up laughing at the weird things that people do and the little things that can get our feathers ruffled. So now it's your turn. What is your biggest pet peeve as a senior? If you will, put it in the comments section so that we can all laugh about it. Now I'm going to leave you with an inside beauty tip. My inside beauty tip comes from Job 8:21. He will yet fill your mouth with laughter and your lips with shouts of joy. Now I chose that scripture verse because laughter is the only way we can get through life and trying times and annoyances and nuisances and behaviors that other people display. I'm sure, like I said, we get on people's nerves just as well. And they could be complaining about us too. But they also could just be laughing. Don't let pet peeves steal your sparkle because God has promised us mouthfuls of laughter. He wants us to laugh. He wants us to take life lightly and not so seriously, and not let someone else come in and ruin our day or tear down our happy feelings that we are having. Don't let anybody have that power. You can complain about it, you can share it with someone else, but in the end, let it go. Choose laughter every time. Don't let silly little things, pet peeves that people do, shake your whole foundation and take over your day. It's your day. It's your day to laugh, have fun, and just enjoy yourself. I know that's what God wants for me and all of you. To me, a cheerful spirit is the best kept beauty secret. It shines, it shows through. You can just feel it as well as see it. So the next time you go out and one of those pet peeves are right there in front of your face, you can think about it for a moment and then just turn your head away and laugh as hard as you can. That would be a prescription for life that I would give you and myself. I thank you so much for being here today. I truly do appreciate it. And until we meet again, this is the old girl signing out. See ya.